because so many people are trying to have this, have that. They're doing all these things, but it starts with being. Every fiber of your being is needed, flaws and all. So be you, your most authentic self. Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya Ehud. I'm glad I get the chance to join you again. Today, I want to share a story with you because I've been going through a lot of reflection. And for those of you that know me, have been listening, you kind of know what's happening in my world. And as a result of that, I was thinking about this story that I heard. There was this man, he was in jail, and in his jail cell, there was a window. He got locked up next to a guy that was in the jail cell with him that did not have a window. So every day, the guy with the window would stare at it and then he would smile. And so one day, the guy that was in the cell next to him said, "What are you looking at while you keep smiling all the time?" He says, "Well, today I see this beautiful park and the sun is shining so bright across it. It gives you the sense that it's just so nice and warm and comforting. I see the family walking down the street and their kids are playing in the park and they're having a great time. I see another person jogging with their dog. Dog is really big, fat, and fluffy. Seems like they're jogging more for the dog to lose weight than they are for them to get themselves in better fit." Another time he was looking out the window and the guy in the jail cell next to him that did not have the window said, "What are you smiling at today?" He said, "Well, today I see a beautiful skyline. The rays of sunshine and the clouds are giving this sort of ethereal look that made it look so beautiful. The different colors that beam across the sky just make you wonder how amazing it can be and how many variations of the colors that exist." Well, one day, the guy that had the window in his jail cell got out. And the guy that was next to him asked the warden, could he be moved into that cell? And the warden moved him over. The guy got up, looked out the window, and what he saw was another part of the prison building. That window saw nothing but a brick wall. And he was disappointed because he was trying to figure out how. How was this guy every single day looking out this window smiling when he was actually looking at a brick wall? You see, this week, I am reminded that how you view the world doesn't have to be what's in your immediate circumstance, what's in your current environment. You have the natural ability to change any situation that is not supporting you. That was a lesson that I taught my kids, but it's also a lesson that I learned from my aunt. Those of you that have been following me and praying for me and sending all kinds of great sympathetic messages, I want to say thank you because the passing of my aunt reminds me of the lessons that she taught me. And she taught me something similar to this story. And with tomorrow being my birthday, those of you that know I celebrate the entire month. I'm intentional about finding one something out of every day of January to be thankful for, to bring myself joy, to remind me to be intentional with my living, to function in my purpose, and to do the thing that I was birthed in the earth to do. I'm hoping that despite the storms that may swarm around you, the situations that you may find yourself, even if it looks like you're up against a brick wall, that you choose to find joy in the moment. Let your imagination reign because sometimes the situations and the circumstances that we find ourselves in, all we can do is imagine for better days. All we can do is look forward to a future that gives us hope. I am so thankful that in my favorite book, it says that God has given us a future and a hope. He knows what he has put inside of our soul, and he intends for us to birth it, because when we do, it doesn't matter the situation that you find yourself in. While the storms are raging, you can still praise in the middle of the storm. So as I go through the next couple of weeks where I have to lay my aunt to rest, I am reminded that my birthday is tomorrow. And that while I am living, live a life full of intention, because that's one of the main lessons that my aunt taught me. I am grateful that I got the opportunity to sit at her feet, to get the insight to know life is fleeting. But every day that you are here, be intentional. Let the world know you were present. And when I say the world, it may just be that niece, your nephew, your sister, the brother, the cousin, your children. That immediate moment is the world that you impact on a day-to-day basis. And they need to see you live life intentional. Every day won't be full of rainbows and buttercups, but every day can be lived with intention. So even though this moment of transition is a little difficult, I still thank you. Those of you that have been praying for me, I feel it. Those of you that are still celebrating my birthday month with me, I thank you. And I am being intentional with enjoying each day, each moment, living life in purpose, on purpose, for purpose, so that for the decades to come, I can leave the legacy of love that my aunt left me, of light that she passed on, of joy that is everlasting in the seat of my soul that God intended for me to always have. So I encourage you today, if you've got to find stories that remind you to change your mindset about some situations, to be intentional about some of the moments in your existence that will help you be different so that you can do different. And that way, the things that people are trying to have, because so many people are trying to have this, have that. They're doing all these things, but it starts with being your most amazing self, being who you were birthed to be, being who you were intended to be. And in that person, the world can't give you a good reflection of who that is. Because I'm clear from the top of my head to the soles of my feet that I do not match or mirror any of the elements in my environment. I do not encompass what people expect of me and want of me on a full-time basis, because that is not who I am and my most authentic self. It is when Tanya is Tanya at the core of her being, and I had to go back and discover me. Some of you know my story, some of the hell and chaos I've walked through. But in the middle of that, I learned to rediscover Tanya. And in this time period, watching how my aunt lived out her life in her most authentic, amazing self, it was another reminder to let who I am on the inside be reflected more on the outside. You're already getting a lot of me. I think some of y'all get more than you want. But I want to encourage you to live life. Live it full out. Live it to your best capacity and enjoy yourself along the way while you praise in the middle of the storm. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. Live life with intention. Be who you were birthed in the earth to be. Because the world has enough of who they're trying to clone into everybody else. But you are unique. Every fiber of your being is needed, flaws and all. So be you, your most authentic self, so that the legacy that you leave, the light that you leave, can still be a reflection in others. Because I was also reminded this week how much my aunt's influence is on me. But I'm grateful because it was a good influence. And I'm praying that I can share more, give more, so that you can be who you are called to be in the earth. And if you want someone to join you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click on the Work For Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And yes, still going live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm live on YouTube so that I can share some insight. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.
When the waves are taking you under, hold on just a little bit longer. He knows that this is gonna make you stronger, stronger. The pain ain't gonna last forever, and things can only get better. Believe me, this is gonna make you stronger. 'Cause if he started this work in your life, he'll be faithful to complete it.